What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Student. My name's TJ. I'm one of the pastors here, and I'm currently pulling into Taco Bell. I'm actually in the drive-thru line, and I got some beef with the old T-Bell. Next week, they are discontinuing a bunch of menu items that they have. Tried and true classics like the quesarito. No one knows why this is happening, and so what I thought I would do today is, out of all of these like 13 discontinued items, I would order them, and I would eat every single one. Could I please have a 7-layer burrito, a beefy Fritos burrito, cheesy Fiesta potatoes, chips and cheese, a grilled steak soft taco, a cheesy potato loaded griller, beefy nacho loaded griller, a nacho supreme, a spicy potato soft taco, a spicy tostada, triple layer nachos, quesarito. Now I have a question for you. What are the chances that I could eat all of those by myself, do you think?
11 item food, 20%?
20%? Hey, I'll take it, okay?
So you think you can eat all those by yourself?
I'm gonna try. It's gonna
try?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a go. We'll see.
Oh, you have to come back and let me know if you do.
Okay, that sounds good. That should do it for my order, though.
You're really gonna eat all this food by yourself?
I mean, I'm gonna try. It's a challenge.
Guys, this is more Taco Bell than should be consumed by anybody, ever. To accompany me, I have a Baja Blast, which I think is gonna be my saving grace. I have no idea how this is gonna go. 12 items in 30 minutes. I'm making a mistake here. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we're gonna start with the quesarito, one of my personal favorites. Man, the quesarito is so good. This is a phenomenal dish. Top notch. The spicy potato taco. Now this is one where, I don't know why they're getting rid of it. It seems like they're getting rid of all their potato items. Yeah, maybe there's a potato shortage, who knows, but spicy potato taco. I've had that one before. It's good when it's nice and hot and crispy. I can now tell you, when the potatoes are soggy, not good at all. I'm actually gonna pop open one of these nachos, 7-layer nacho or something. So just a bunch of chips and cheese. The chips at Taco Bell, I've never had a chip like this in my life. Maybe if you know what I'm talking about. Like, not in the store, not at restaurants. I don't know if they like make them with a 3D printer. They're not good, but they're chips. And so I don't know, it's a mystery. But here we go, look at that. That's a floppy chip. Here we go. It's like beans. That's all I'm eating with a side of chips is what it is. 5 minutes in, 3 items down. 2 of them were subpar at best. But we press on. Oh, another potato thing. This is a potato loaded griller. Oh gosh, I think they're soggy. Yep. Thank goodness for this Baja Blast. It has been better than just about every item I've had so far. Soggy potatoes in any kind of Taco Bell thing, atrocious. What is this? It's not that bad. These are kind of crispy. All of the potato things are down. No more potatoes, which is nice. We're 8 minutes in. I think we're like 5 items down. Call me crazy. I'm feeling a little confident. We have some rough items to go. And I love Taco Bell, and so it pains me to say that some of these items are rough, but they're not good. There's a thing of chips right here. This is just nachos and cheese. Oh boy. I feel like I'm getting hit now in the stomach. Yeah. I'm just gonna kind of work on these chips and cheese. Okay. My confidence in the last 30 seconds has dwindled by quite a bit. I am starting to feel pretty bad. Maybe I made a poor choice with this challenge. We'll see. Like, I'm at the point right now where I would be like, here's comfortably full, and here's like, I ate way too much, and I'm full, and I'm like there right now. And I still have like 3 more meals here. But 21 minutes left, so we'll see. This seems to be the grilled steak soft taco. Steak at a Taco Bell? Sketchy. My hopes for this are not high, but it's gotta get eaten. So we'll see how it goes. Why? Steak at Taco Bell. It's just gonna be a hard pass for me. I'm out on this one. It's like beef jerky, kind of, but there's just so much more volume to it. Not good. Steak burrito. Down. Look at this thing. It's like folded, oh, it like broke, it's just a tostada. It like broke apart. My initial response on this guy was correct. It is not good. I'm hitting a wall. We're coming up on halfway. Don't know how many items I have left. I know that I am stuck. Everything from here on out is going to be painful. This is a floppy chip. I'm opening up the other nachos, by the way. I've hit a wall. It feels like, oh boy. All of this mystery meat has just like kind of hit my stomach. What am I doing with my life? Oh, this is like the same thing. Oh boy. So I got these two guys left, and a thing of nachos is a 7-layer burrito, which basically means this is entirely filled with beans. I don't know why they say 7 layers. There's really only 1 layer. I got 7 minutes. Gag reflex kicking a little bit. Last item. Seriously, last item. 2 minutes. This is going to suck bad. No! Oh my gosh. 30 minutes. There it is. That's all that remains. And I know you're thinking like, just eat it. If I eat another bite, I'm gonna throw up. I'm taking the L. Here's what we learned. Taco Bell is delicious for the first like 3 items. Then it gets a little questionable. Then you start asking what you're even doing with your life. But here we are. Go check out some of these items before they go away. Hopefully you will have a better experience with them than I did. But here's what we got lined up for you guys. We have a song. We're gonna do some worship. Also, my boy Mark Ardall is gonna be bringing you an awesome message. So I think the rest of your guys' time is gonna be a lot better than like my past half an hour. Anyways, peace out guys. See you next time.
I was searching for a better way, lost without a reason for the pain. But then you stepped right in and showed me grace. You found me, you found me. I can't get enough of you. You got my heart with everything you do. And now your love's making me new. You're the one I'm running to. Forever you're my reason. Gave my life a meaning. Got me singing through the night. I have found what love is. I won't stop for nothing. Got me dancing through the trial to the rhythm.
What's up, everybody? Mark here, one of your teaching pastors, and it is good to be back after some time off. I was off for a little bit because my wife and I had another baby. Yeah, Flora Ann was born on July 2nd, and she's doing great. My wife's doing great. Our family's doing great, and we are just so grateful to God for this new little addition to our family. Well, I'm pumped about tonight because it's just good to be back, but also because I love the series that we're in right now. Ask Me Anything. You see, we wrote messages based on questions that you had about life and faith and all of that good stuff. And the question that we're going to dive into tonight is this right here. How do I find God's will for my life? And that is such a good question. I'm so glad that some of you are asking that. And here's why that question excites me, okay? It's because I think that there is a belief that is built in. Let me show you what I mean, okay? When you ask the question, what's God's will for my life? You are saying that God cares about you enough to have a plan for your life. And I think that is absolutely true. God does have a plan for your life. But don't just believe me. Let's look at this verse from the book of Jeremiah in the Bible. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future." Students, God has a plan for your life. Maybe this is the first time you're hearing that, or the first time you've thought about that. Maybe up until this point, you've just sort of pictured life as a giant maze, and you're just trying to get the cheese, not hit too many dead ends, and not hit too many challenges along the way. Or maybe you know and believe that God has a plan for your life, but you're just not really sure how to find it. So when a choice or a situation is in front of you, you just get stuck, and you're not sure how to move forward. Like, God, can you just tell me what to do? Sometimes I wish that God was a little bit more like this. A magic 8-ball. Have you seen these things before? I used to love these when I was a kid. So you ask it a question, give it a shake, and it gives you an answer. So let's try this out. Let's see. Will the Vikings win the Super Bowl this year? You may rely on it. If there's one thing I know, it's that you can't rely on the Vikings. But hey, the magic 8-ball predicted it. How about this one? Will Skittles ditch green apple and go back to lime? Please, 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 please. My sources say no. Ugh! Why did they do that? I'll never understand it. How about this one? Will I be a millionaire by this time next year? Signs point to yes. Oh, finally gonna get that Lambo. But for real, sometimes I wish that God was like this magic 8-ball. Like I could just go to him and get an easy answer. But it just doesn't work that way, does it? No. You see, God doesn't want to just be your magic 8-ball. He wants a real and a personal relationship with you, where you discover his will for your life as you get to know him more. And one of the ways that we get to know God more is by getting to know his word. And when I say his word, I'm talking about the Bible. So just because God doesn't really work like a magic 8-ball doesn't mean that he doesn't speak to us about what his will is for our lives. Actually, God so badly wanted us to hear from him that he orchestrated the writing, collecting, and distributing of his very words that we can read today in what's known as the Bible. The pages of the Bible are full of God's will for our lives. They're full of instruction on what we should do and how we should live. But look, we can know all of that, and it might not make a difference in our lives unless we are willing to do one thing: surrender. I think Ryan Leake said it best a couple weekends ago in his message on the weekend when he said, the easiest way to find out what God's plan is for your life is for you to surrender yours. Finding God's will for your life starts with surrender. So today, I'm going to give you the ABCs of surrender. If you will surrender your life in these 3 areas, you will be living out God's will for you. The first is A, avoid sin. Real talk, okay? Some things in life should just be avoided, like riding a Segway, for example. Why? Because it is impossible to look cool on one of those things. All right, get a longboard, even get a moped. You're gonna look cooler on that thing than you will on a Segway. Okay, it is impossible to ride a Segway without ending up looking like Paul Blart Mall Cop. I mean, maybe without the mustache, but still, you don't want that. You don't want to be looking anything like Paul Blart Mall Cop, okay? So just avoid Segways. Just avoid them like the plague, all right? But for real, it's very clear throughout the pages of the Bible that we should avoid sin. Sin is basically anything that goes against God. It's anything that's in contrast to the way He set us up to live our lives. Check out 1 Corinthians 15:34. It says, think carefully about what is right and stop sinning. If we think carefully about what's right, then we can do what's right. And if we do what's right, then we can avoid sin. And it is God's will for you to avoid sinning. Not because God wants to take all the fun out of your life, not because He's some control freak who wants to micromanage every move that you make, but because God knows that that's what's best for you. When we avoid certain things, it makes our life better, doesn't it? Like people who avoid fast food generally are in better shape. And people who avoid, abusing drugs and alcohol are generally healthier. People who avoid toxic relationships are generally happier. People who avoid sin are generally happier. They experience more joy and peace and better relationships with other people and a better relationship with God. That's why it is His will for you to avoid sin. Next, B, become more like Jesus. As I get older, I'm sort of becoming more and more like my dad in some different ways. My dad, probably like many dads out there, is a master of the barbecue. His smoked ribs are amazing. Getting my belly good. And he's always sending us pictures of what he's making, and he's posting them on social media. And one of my goals in life is to become a master of barbecue like my dad. And so the other day, I got a fresh rack of ribs from Target, and so I called up my dad because I really had no idea how to prepare those or how to cook them. And so he talked me through it over FaceTime, and I prepped them, I cooked them, and they were some of the best ribs that I've ever had. No joke, okay? They were so good. And you better believe that I posted a picture of those ribs on social media. And as I was taking that picture, aligning it just right, getting the lighting to just really shine off of that barbecue glaze on top of those ribs, my wife looked at me and she said, "You are becoming your father." Why do I tell you that? It's because the truth is we are always in the process of becoming. We're becoming more like the people we spend the most time with. We're becoming more like the things we spend our time thinking about. We're becoming more like the type of person who does the things that we are currently doing. We are all in the process of becoming, and here's what that has to do with God's will. God's will for you is that you would become more like Jesus. 1 John 2:6 tells us that those who say they live in God should live their lives as Jesus did. God's will for you is that you would become more like Jesus. But becoming more like Jesus means that we're going to have to surrender some of the ways that we're living our lives right now. But when we make the decision to become like Him, we set ourselves on a path to become the best version of ourselves. So then how do we become more like Jesus? Well, if we're becoming more like the people we're spending time with and more like the things we're spending our time thinking about, then we need to spend more time with Jesus and more time thinking about Him. Some of the ways that we can do that: read the Bible. The first 4 books in the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, are all about the life of Jesus. That's a great place to start. You can dive in and learn more about who Jesus is, what he's all about, what he did, what he said, what was important to him. Another way that you can become more like Jesus is to hang around with people who are becoming more like Jesus. Maybe you need to get a mentor who's been doing this a little bit longer than you, or maybe you need to spend more time hanging out with Christian friends. All right, that brings us to C, care about other people. Caring about others requires surrender, because our tendency is just to kind of look out for ourselves, isn't it? You know, watch out for numero uno. We want the blue ribbon pinned upon our chest. We want to be first in line. We want the biggest piece of pizza in the pizza box, right? That's not just me. It can't be just me. I know you guys are feeling that, okay? But finding God's will for our lives through surrender means putting other people first. Philippians 2:4 says, "Don't look out only for your own interests, but take an interest in others too." So what could it look like for you to take an interest in other people this week? Maybe it means sitting down and having a conversation with somebody who's different than you, and you can learn from their perspective. Maybe it means that you're finally going to have a spiritual conversation with that friend that you've been on the fence about talking to about Jesus and your faith. But you're going to do it this week because you realize that they need Jesus just as much as you do. Maybe it's that you're going to serve your parents instead of them always serving you, or you're going to help out your sibling with that problem that they're having. You see, caring about others is part of God's will for you, but you have to be willing to surrender your own needs, your own desires at times in order to live out that will. Friends, finding God's will for your life starts by surrendering your life to Him. And so this week, I want you to think about the ABCs of surrender. A, avoid sin. What are some areas of your life where you need to start avoiding sin so that you can be living out God's will for you? B, become more like Jesus. If it's our goal to be like Jesus, then we need to spend more time with Him and more time thinking about Him. And C, care about other people. Let's set our own needs and desires aside for a little bit so that we can look out for the needs of others. If you will surrender to God in these 3 areas, you will find God's will and you will be living it out in your life. That's a great place to be. Thanks so much for hanging with us. Thanks for watching this message. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit the like button. And we would love for you to share this with someone who it might be an encouragement to. You can just send them the YouTube link, or we will be dropping this on our Instagram page. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, head over there at Eagle Brook Students. Give us a follow. All right. Well, I'll see you guys later. Have a great week, and don't be riding any segways. Okay? Bye.